All right, here we're going to take a quick look at the importance of getting low on a ground ball. Everyone knows that we're supposed to do that. You hear coaches say all the time, get low. But we're going to talk about getting low when you are under pressure, when there is a player from the opposing team in your vicinity, maybe chasing you right at your back or right next to you, and why that's when we tend to make the mistake of not getting low enough on a ground ball because of that pressure. So we're going to take a look at a situation here. We've got two teams playing each other, dark team, white team. Bad pass is thrown outside of the box, so the offensive player in dark is chasing it. Defensive player in white is chasing him. And we're going to take a look at the approach here, okay? So sprinting full speed towards that ball, that's great. Offensive player in dark prepares to pick up that ground ball, and I'm going to freeze the frame right here, okay? And not the best video, but I think you can see well enough to get the idea. I want you to guess right now. Does the player in dark pick up that ground ball, or does he miss it? I'll zoom in a little bit here. I don't know if that helps much, but again, not the best video, but I think you get the idea. So guess right now, does he end up picking up that ball or no? If you said no, you are correct. And the reason that he doesn't pick up this ball is exactly why we're watching this video, because when we are under pressure in a game situation or even in a practice, that's when we tend to forget about our fundamentals and end up making mistakes. So the player in dark here, if you watch the rest of this video, he's actually a pretty good player. He makes a lot of good plays, but because of the pressure of having someone right on his heels chasing right behind him, he decides he's going to sacrifice form for speed. And instead of getting low and ensuring that he picks up that ground ball, yes, he's being chased by an opposing player, so maybe that opposing player gets a lift on his backhand. The opposing player can't hit him in the back, so he's pretty limited in the options that the chasing player has right now. But the player in dark decides that instead of practicing good fundamentals and getting low and making sure he scoops up that ball in the first try, he thinks in his head, well, if I get low, it's going to slow me down and this guy's going to catch me. So I'm going to try and stay more vertical, stay more standing straight up. And that way I don't have to slow down as much. And when I pick up the ball, the player chasing me won't be all over me. But by staying too vertical, staying too straight up, you can see his stick angle is way too vertical to be able to do a good job of picking up this ground ball at the youth level. Maybe high school or college guys can get away with this, but at the youth level, you really got to make sure that you are getting low. He ends up, because of that stick angle, missing that ground ball. All right, you can see the ball popping out there, and the eventual result of the play is a turnover. All right, white team ends up getting the ball right there. So we'll watch it full speed here. Keep an eye on the player in dark, how he doesn't get low enough to pick up that ground ball, because he decides to go for speed over form and fundamentals, ends up being a turnover. So there's always a little risk-reward calculus when you're making these decisions. Is it worth sacrificing form and fundamentals a little bit to be a little bit faster? A lot of times the answer is no. The reason we practice fundamentals so often, in our team practices and in our individual training is to make sure that when we get in a situation like this, in an important game that matters, that we do it correctly. So if this player had stuck to his fundamental training and got low on this ground ball like he knows he's supposed to, the result most likely, because he had a good amount of space here, all right, it most likely would have been a ground ball for him rather than a turnover for his team. So focus on what your coaches are saying. Focus on the fundamentals. There's a reason we talk about them. There's a reason we do them so many times in practice. It's so that when you get into a game situation and you're under pressure, you can still make good decisions and execute with proper technique and fundamentals.